3 companies that have big dreams, but they're actually losing money and waiting for help. So in the 2017, the stock market is doing really good. So we are thinking that, might as well we just invest in some big companies. And also maybe your friends come across some big companies in your daily lives. You're saying that, if we invest in those stocks, it wouldn't be too bad, right? Think again. So today I will bring you 3 companies that dream really big, but they actually need lots of help. So first of all, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also please like my Facebook page. And if you have any comments or anything you want to add to, please leave me comments in the comment box below. Without further ado, let's go. So first of all, let us review Bitcoin. So last week we talked about Bitcoin and ICO, stuff like that, and we talked about the technical analysis of Bitcoin, right? Honestly, there are a few days gap in between I recorded video and I posted the video. So that before that, we changed the target already, because the target was originally $8,300. And then we changed the target to $11,000. So, and then now it's a staggering $13,000 per Bitcoin. So I'm not talking about, again, whether or not you're going to invest your Bitcoin, whether or not you invest in a little bit or big time. Please refer to my 2 previous videos. But for this one, I will just review. As long as you can draw a triangle, you can draw some patterns, you can use it. But it's not as simple as like that. You really have to have a full strategy on how Bitcoin is doing in your portfolio in next year. So which 3 companies dream really big but need help? So the first one is UA. So if you don't know this brand, but you probably noticed that throughout these 3 years, people on the street will wear a new logo called Under Armour, UA, okay? So the brand is so popular that Chinese has copied the brand and rebranded as Uncle Armour, okay? So it's really popular. And why is that? Because all the story comes from UA signing a star called Stephen Curry. It's a so-called 3-pointer or we so-called 4-pointer in NBA. 4 years ago, he really changed all the rules in NBA, and finally they won the championships. And also because of the deal is so cheap for Under Armour, and in the end, Under Armour's stock price went up like a skyrocket. But the only thing you may not know about investment is that the stock price does not really reflect the financial statements, because it is a company that is losing money, all because they are doing a lot of marketing. Well, it's not because the CEO, Kevin Plank, wants to burn the money for the sake of he just wants to burn the money, right? Because he needs to do that. Because why? Under Armour, he noticed that they are all backing on one star. They really have to do marketing for their branding, or even they have to diversify the sponsorship to many other stars. Or else the whole company and many of their employees will depend on one person. You know, in the world of sports, getting injured is really easy, and there's no warning before that. Just like Derrick Rose and Vince Carter before that, so everything will boom, vanished. So because of that reason, it's really attractive branding with a good CEO, with a CEO that has been working like a cow for 20 years. It's all inspiring stories. But in terms of investment, it's still losing money. Technically, the stock price dropped from $15 per share and almost now $10 per share. And it's down really bad unless the stock price goes back up above $15 per share. You can invest it only because of the technical analysis, never because it's profiting. The second company is Tesla. We all know that Tesla is really good, it's really revolutionary, and the name actually comes from Nikola Tesla, which his dream was that everyone will have free electricity to use, right? So he's using this name, and the man behind is Elon Musk. We all know that, but we have to distinguish between doing an investment or we are doing charity. Because all he's doing is everyone will have free electric cars to use, and 20 years after that, everyone will be living in Mars, and 19 years from now, everyone will notice that we are actually in a game. Alright? We don't know what will happen, but yes, there's a big dream, but the dream will happen or not is not necessarily guaranteed, right? So we are doing charity or non-profit stuff, not really investment. Don't get me wrong, there are many big companies and many unicorns that have big dreams and also profit, but not Tesla. Because why is that? There's research showing that Tesla in every hour is burning 480,000 US dollar per hour. In an average household of United States, right? I'm not talking about third world and poor countries, right? If his mission is about saving all the world, it's about everyone. But I'm saying comparably rich people in United States, the household average for 1 year is 52,000 US dollar per year. So for each hour, Tesla is burning 8.5 household what they're earning in average for 1 whole year. So imagine some projects take 3 years, some projects take 20 years. How many resources he's burning before this dream has a chance to achieve? So we have to understand that. But don't get me wrong, I read many of his stories. Among all inspiring stories, it's really, really good. But in terms of investment, it's pretty crazy. So we look at the profit margins of all kind of ratios, it's really, really low. Actually, it's undefined because what? It never happens that Tesla has any one single year that has profit. Yes, never. But why do we have the misconception? Because we just hear all the stories, all the branding, but stories, branding, and stock price does not naturally reflect the financial statements. That's what I'm talking about. So we see they're launching the electric truck, they're changing truck world, and also the sedan, and or maybe sport cars, and maybe also the AI intelligent autopilot, stuff like that. They're all going to do that. Maybe planes, who knows, right? Planes, I'm sure he's thinking of that. But the only bad is about bringing his cost down, or he has to stop investing. The first one, it may have a chance to bringing the cost down. So we may know that the other unicorn in the world is Tencent, which is from China, which is really almost the same as Alibaba, right? They have invested in Tesla, which is the plan for Tesla to finally be approved to set up factory in China to reduce the cost. But they also have to pay the tax for 25% tax to the China government. So they really have to work their calculation, right? But at least there's a chance. And the Model 3 is coming up. So according to Auto Data, they're saying that the United States, the production has increased for 0.9%, but for Tesla, it's the least. It's reduced by 18%. So I suggest that we have to look at the financial statement. We can see the gross profit is at least positive, right? So Model 3, as long as it sells, and also the sunk cost has been paid, as long as they're using the products they have invested already to make a profit and stop investing in the future, as an investor perspective, it's good to go. It may go back to profit, but read the stories. Elon Musk will not stop here, right? So I'm just giving a shot. You guys will understand more about Tesla. Even if you want to invest in Tesla, that's fine, but you know what you are putting yourself into, and that's it. So look at technically there's a big double head and shoulder pattern, and the neckline is around $300 per share. I'm not saying that the stock price will break below this neckline, but if it does, the target will be $220. If it doesn't, it will rebound. We look at $330 for it to generate a trend, and then it may be a chance for us to invest in short term. So you can look at that. And the third one is Snapchat. So we talk about Snapchat, how it's popular and how it changes the world and stuff like that. And I believe it's really good for Snapchat to go listed in IPO for them, okay? Because this trend can vanish at any time. And before this trend has finished, according to their active users and the barely profit companies, and they go listed and they get the money. But for us as an investor, that's only a day one of our stories. And then after that, the stock price goes down like hell. I've talked about that in the previous video because their biggest rivalry is no one, right? It's wrong. It's Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. Instagram and WhatsApp is acquired and invested by Facebook. They have all the data, they have all the stuff. And Facebook is just like Google. It's invested in hundreds and hundreds of startups, right? So Instagram has all the supports and money and big data to do what they want. And also because the founders were really busy for the IPO, so they forget about Instagram could just do a storyline just like Snapchat, right? So now, boom, the market share lost a lot, okay? So this is another company that I talked about in the previous video, but these are three companies. As a beginner, you think that it's really big in our daily lives, it's doing pretty good, but they're suffering a big time. I'm not saying that 5 years or 10 years they will disappear, but I'm saying that if you invest that in 1 year or even 5 years, you will lose your money for a big chunk, because after burning your money, they will need another pound of money. So after this video, please give me thumbs up and also share this video to your friends and talk about this among yourself. Don't invest in your hard-earned money into something that's wrong, okay? So you have to distinguish between stories and investment. So I will see you next time. Investing Made Easy. Goodbye.